Did you know that Henry Cavill stands whenever a woman enters a room? Now this is something that Guy Ritchie, who has worked with Cavill several times over the last decade, has noticed repeatedly. This is a symbol of courtesy. Instead of ignoring someone when they enter, this act acknowledges someone has entered the room, someone new is here to be greeted. Nowadays, admittedly, it's a cultural fossil. Think about it, when was the last time you saw somebody do this? Probably never. But that's the point. When Henry Cavill does it, people notice. It's appreciated because it's rare, because it's not common. So the question is, are there other cultural fossils, other rare acts that can make a man stand out and be memorable on a date? That's the subject of today's video. Number 1, taking charge. So this is the one that seems to me the easiest to misinterpret and misunderstand. Now I'm not going to go all Andrew Tate on you here, so please don't take the law into your own hands and go on a date and start telling your date what to wear or what to eat. I already know how my wife would react to that. Oh, wow! No, you see, what I mean is you should take the lead. Don't be a passenger on the date. And I mean that figuratively and literally. If somebody is driving, it should be you as the man, not her. Now, if you're both making your way separately to the venue or the activity, maybe you're getting the train or a bus, then do her the courtesy of meeting her at the station and escort her to the restaurant or wherever you're going. Bare minimum, you should be meeting her outside the venue and escort her inside. You shouldn't be in there waiting. You should be the one picking the restaurant or the activity. Honestly, I can say there's nothing more infuriating than saying something like, you know, I don't mind where we go, I'm easy. Anything vague like that, avoid it, okay? Pick a place that you think she'll like and tell her that's where you're going. Now, on that topic, let me know, folks, down in the comments below. What do you think is the best activity for a first date? Okay, final thing before I move on. You should be the one booking the table, okay? That should be obvious. You book the table, you must communicate what the plan is to her ahead of time. Women need time to prepare for something like a date, so make sure you're the kind of man that's sensible enough to recognize that. Number 2, dress appropriately. Okay, so you've picked the place. Now make sure that you meet the dress code. But what if there isn't a dress code, Dean? If that's you thinking out loud, you've just made a rookie mistake. You see, there's always a dress code. And here's a tip. The only one that involves sweats and hoodies is the dress code at the local gym. So leave those at home where they belong. Now, if you're going for dinner at a casual restaurant, maybe somewhere people might bring their kids to, then it's unlikely to be a particularly formal dress code. You could get away with jeans and a t-shirt, but why would you? Bear in mind that your date has likely spent not just time, but money on things like her hair, maybe her nails, getting her makeup just right, and of course, picking an outfit. Maybe she even bought a new outfit just for the occasion. So the least you can do is step it up a notch. Now, if you're not sure how, that's fine. Personally, what I like to do is I go for an Oxford button-down shirt. Nice pair of trousers, that's the bare minimum. No need for neckties here, okay? Leave those top 2 buttons undone for a casual look. For shoes, I'll usually stick to Chelsea boots. They're versatile, you can dress them up, you can dress them down. Then on top, I'll probably top it off with something like a dark brown suede jacket. My wife personally, she loves how it feels when she holds my arm with that suede jacket. Feels nice, feels warm. So if you don't already have one, I would definitely recommend picking up a suede jacket. It's one of those things that I think has been made with a romantic date in mind. It's the perfect place to wear it. Now, if the restaurant is on the fancier side, maybe swap the suede jacket for a sports coat or blazer, maybe throw in a casual tie. But on the subject of ties, I would say be very careful. Ties are rarely seen in restaurants these days, at least where I'm from, so you need to ensure that you're never one level of formality higher than your date or the rest of the people at the venue, the general vibe. Otherwise, what can happen is you might make your date feel underdressed, and that's not a good start. Or you might start to feel overdressed and start to feel a bit self-conscious and awkward, so avoid that. Okay, then we have number 3, looking after your date. So you've picked the venue, you've booked a table, and you've escorted your date to the restaurant and you're dressed appropriately. You park You get out of the car and then you head inside. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is your date is about 10 yards behind you now.
Cole looks to his right and sees if he has any challenges. He doesn't.
I see this all the time. Not always when observing people on obvious first dates. Sometimes it's older couples that have clearly been together decades and they still behave this way. Now let's get one thing straight. As a man, it's your responsibility to look after your date. Make sure she feels safe and attended to. So when you pick her up, don't act like you're giving your mate a lift somewhere, okay? Get out of the car, go to her door, bring her to the car, open the door for her, and close it for her as well once she's safely inside. It's always surprising to me how many men will open the door to a building, restaurant for example, for their girlfriend or their wife, but they never replicate that behavior around the car, like a car door isn't a door. Similar idea when you get to the table, pull the chair out for your date. Now this is so rare that you'll probably have to signpost it out loud in real time. What I mean by that is tell them what you're doing, okay? As you're pulling out the chair for them, say something like, allow me, or let me get that for you. If you don't say this, because it's so rare, you might end up pulling out the chair for yourself, because while you were doing that, she's went to the other side of the table and she sat down. So those are the 3 bits of advice I always go to when younger men seeking long-term relationships ask me for advice on how to behave on a date, especially a first date. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention one final point. If you're going to a restaurant or anywhere like that, be polite and respectful to the service staff. Now you might wonder, why would a woman care how you treat somebody else, a waiter for example? Perhaps it's because there's nothing obvious you gain by being polite to waiters and waitresses. So your behavior here can actually represent to your date how you might treat them in the future, once you're married, let's say. But it also shares a mature perspective and appreciation for the staff. After all, working with the public, it's a difficult and demanding job. So folks, remember, a woman notices these things, just like they notice your relationship with your mother. Maybe that's a video for another day. As always, folks, thank you very much for watching, and let me know down in the comments section if you have any sage advice for first dates that you thought should have been in this video. I want to hear from you down in that comment section. Looking forward to seeing what you say. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.